You are watching Travel World Online.
Namaskar. Welcome Sunil ji. Congratulations for your re-election as UFTAA President. Please tell us your achievements as UFTAA President and what are the future plans?
First of all, Anil ji, thank you very much for this call and asking me to spend some time with you, bringing UFTAA closer to you and via you to everybody else. We had a very successful annual General Assembly. We call it the AGA. We had about 25 countries participating in the AGA. And this AGA was a very successful one, where a very comprehensive report of UFTAA's most busy activity in the last 15 months was shared. The world appreciated it. I don't think in my own career as a travel industry leader, I had so many meetings, though they were virtual, with IATA, call it the PAPGGC, call it the committees, call it the Travel Agency Commissioner Program revamp, and call it the debates, discussions we've been having at a very regular interval. And to be active in all this, for me and for my colleagues, is a very tough challenge. When the pandemic began, the airlines were going berserk. They disconnected the GDS from refunds facility. So you have tickets on hand and you can't file for refunds because the GDS doesn't allow you to do it. It's disconnected without giving us a notice. And many agents in India don't have the advanced BSP link all over the world, in fact. So they can't even file for refunds via the BSP link. So imagine airlines have no money to pay to you. Some airlines delay the refunds. Some airlines give you credit notes. Your passengers are knocking the doors. Schedules are being cancelled one after the other. People run into losses. It was chaotic. The whole industry was pushed down so badly that it's so difficult for us to get up. And UFTAA during this period had too much of challenges on us. We had to debate, protest, raise objections, appeal, request, do whatever we can to help mitigate the challenges agencies across the world were going through. Every association had their own unique challenges. Some associations went to courts. They knocked the doors of the judiciary. Thankfully, they were rewarded. Some went to the government, got some relief done. Some did not know where to go or had no clue how to manage the situation. So you had all different parameter-based associations. And to guide them, again, was a lot of time-consuming challenge. But I'm glad that at least now we've settled down. Maybe there are losses for many agencies. And we are now at least looking at a new future. So this is what UFTAA has been actively involved with. Our tourism division or department, which we instituted a few years ago when I became a president. Earlier, UFTAA was only working on aviation. And I brought in tourism in a big way. Now that has to be kickstarted for achieving an industry turnaround, because a lot of stakeholders, particularly the travel agencies and tour operators, will confirm that their financial statements, if are based only on airline commissions or airline retentions, it would not be sustainable at all unless there is income from tourism, income from MICE, income from other areas in addition to ticketing. An agency cannot survive. So UFTAA was committed to create a marketplace to bring the world together, to help connect them. And that's what is our portfolio for the future. We are very active right now in conceptualizing the way forward for the whole world. At the AGA, we had two historic decisions to take. One was a resolution passed by UFTAA Annual General Assembly on vaccine equity. The quintessence of this resolution is that never before have the current generations witnessed travel and tourism industry that is so badly hit and are pushed to so much of losses, be it airlines, tourism destinations, travel agencies, tour operators, hospitality stakeholders, whoever they may be. It's a tough time for everybody else. So we have passed a resolution demanding from all the governments, the honorable governments of the world, to focus on vaccine equity in two specific areas. Area number one, equitable distribution of vaccines worldwide. There are some countries with surpluses, some countries who have no vaccine. So how can we as a world get together once again unless people within respective countries are vaccinated? So this is very important. Even from a tourism angle, this is very, very important because people, once they are vaccinated, there's courage, there's confidence. They will be encouraged to travel. So we need all countries of the world to have their citizens vaccinated. The second aspect is uniform travel-related policy, which is linked to vaccine equity. Now, what do you mean by a uniform travel-related policy? Well, we are asking through our resolution to the governments of the world, and this is something that we would want the media to help us because this is for the general welfare of the whole world and to support us kickstart tourism again. Governments must push to ensure early vaccination of their citizens and then establish emergency infrastructure to prevent loss of livelihood. When we talk about emergency infrastructure, we are also referring to a call number, unique call number. A tourist from another part of the world visits another country, something goes wrong. Now, whom shall he contact? So there has to be, that's one important aspect of a country supporting friendly tourism despite the pandemic. So people must get that confidence. I can go to this country. This is a number that's given to me. I can call that number and it's a 24/7 service. I will be redirected to somebody close to where I am currently stationed. So this is a kind of an infrastructure that is required. Maybe governments have thought about it. Some governments have not thought about it. So we want to stay through our record, through our document. The next one is a corridor on travel formalities, immigration controls, restrictions on vaccinated travelers, and related procedures. They must be uniform and travel friendly. Each country can't have their own procedure, which is not complementary to one another. This is required particularly in view of the complex procedures some governments have initiated, which discourages travel and are seen by travelers as chaotic. So let the traveler feel comfortable. The governments can't have rules which are very arbitrary and don't complement with the rules of the other countries. They have to be more bilateral, reciprocal. Now, another aspect is governments have approved vaccinations in their respective countries to be administered, right? So each country has certified A, B, C or X, Y, Z vaccine, right? So people are vaccinated and certified. Now some countries are coming up with travel advisories suggesting only specific vaccines can make travel. Now this is most complicated. Instead of disqualifying travelers who are vaccinated by a vaccine outside your list. What the governments could offer can be serology and other related tests to check the status of virus in travelers. So they can't have, each country can't have their own rules. We will only permit people with this vaccine. That is not correct. It will kill tourism, it will kill the spirit of travel. Governments must also review the current bubble agreements. How long can this go on? I'm fully aware that government's trying to be more cautious. But then bubble agreements versus open skies, I think there's got to be a change there. A lot of travel agencies will have challenges. In some countries, we are informed that there are only few select travel companies who can market these tickets and not everybody else. That's bad for the industry. So we're bringing up this point to the government. We are talking about international cooperation that exists in the development of vaccines must also be reflected in setting international standards for the management of passenger traffic between countries. So this is also a very important area. For us, governments would play a big role. So it's time for the governments to support uniform policies that can ensure resumption of tourism and support normalcy and growth. So this is one agenda item for UFTAA's way forward. A second item is we are wanting to partner with our national associations to bring in a new form of education, awareness to the existing stakeholders. And UFTAA is ready to invest into this area. We are looking at partnering with advisors, technical advisors, content advisors, large technology companies, so that we can go region to region in this world and try and support travel companies to appreciate the business after pandemic. There will be a lot of new approaches that agents have to take. So we want people to become proactive right away, not wait for 2022. Because 2021 is the transition year and 2022 will be the main business year. So for us to be ready by the last quarter of 21 or for the business in 2022, in the next 4-5 months, we need to equip our members with as much content to help them change their business approaches and be ready for the post-pandemic travel and tourism scenario. So this is another area. Of course, UFTAA will continue to grow, will expand to many more areas. We have had participation from Latin America, from Cuba, from Mexico, from a number of countries in Latin America who are very keen that UFTAA must come there. So we are also looking at how UFTAA can also get connected to our Latin American colleagues, because there are more than 20 associations in Latin America that are members of UFTAA. And we are very, very keen because I've been there. I know their quality, their spirit. They are very enthusiastic. And we are very keen that the world must interact much more with them. So these are some of the way forward scenarios. In addition, our pursuit with IATA on risk management of the airlines is a high priority. Always IATA and airlines have been working on the risk management of agencies in the last 10 years, 15 years. It's time now for us to insist IATA on the risk management of the airlines, because one airline goes bust. Look at the number of travel agents who are affected. So that's another very, very important agenda. And I hope this is something that UFTAA will be able to, along with the support of the others who are a part of the Global Joint Council, we will be able to take up this matter to help bring in a healthy industry without any fear of participation.
Sunilji, when it comes to IATA, ITA was always taking care of the airlines, safeguarding their interest. Airlines goes bankrupt, thousands and thousands of travel agents are affected. Who will take care of their interests? They were fighting for their refunds.
That is what risk management of the airlines is all about. I must say UFTAA was the first association or federation in the world. I have evidence to prove the document we have sent to IATA, and it was a very strongly worded document. We don't want our agents to suffer because of the financial challenges an airline is facing. In the past, IATA had put up so many restrictions to ensure that there is no agency defaulting to protect the airlines. Fair enough. But now, there's a very important responsibility on IATA to ensure that the agents are not put to distress because of an airline going belly up.
Thank you, Sunilji. Thank you for talking to Travel World Online. Namaskar.
You are watching Travel World Online.